My name is Hamdi. I'm a third-year student at U of T. I'm 21. I'm also a certified makeup artist because I love all things beauty. So yeah, that's me.
Good.
My personal experiences with makeup and working with makeup artists has honestly been pretty abysmal. Just because I'm remembering back to one of the first times I ever had my makeup done where the shade was completely off, I was gray. It wasn't even that they weren't taking into account the shade, but also the undertone. So I feel like there's always a bit of miscommunication in terms of what actually looks good on women of color. But a large part of my experience actually has to do with doing makeup on other people. So one big, huge thing right off the bat is that a lot of women of color feel the same way, where they're really distrustful and also feeling very unsafe in a lot of these beauty spaces because it feels like we're not accounted for and we're not listened to. So, I'm remembering sometimes when I'm helping a customer who's Black, the minute they see me, there are glimmers in their eyes where they're just like, oh my God, this person's my savior and they can help me. So that's even seeing that connection shows that there's such a big lack. The other thing that I always hear constantly is the fact that brands are not creating enough shades that have a diversity of colors. A brand might have 30 shades in their foundation range, but 20 of them are peachy white, while there's 3 of them that are actually for deeper skin tones, and most of them come in undertones that are orange, which nobody is, because we're not in Philippines. But yeah, I just get very heated when I think about the topic, because it just shows how constantly we're pushed to the side. We're not able to enter these spaces as comfortably or navigate them as comfortably because the resources aren't there, the attention isn't there, and one of the biggest misconceptions that I always hear about is the fact that, we create products for people who will buy it. So there's that idea that Black women are not buying into the products, when if you go into any Sephora in any predominantly Black neighborhood, you will see that all of the shades for most of our deeper skin tones are completely sold out on a continuous basis. So the buy-in is there, we're just not being listened to. When Fenty Beauty launched, we were all shaking in our boots. We're like, we do not have enough, we don't have the manpower to deal with it, because it was just a phenomenon in and of itself. So we had first of all, we were out of sample jars because so many women came in trying to find their shade, and the one thing they ask is, hey, is Rihanna's makeup here? So it's okay, that Rihanna buy-in because she's everything. But there's also where a lot of people who are inexperienced with makeup kind of say, hey, do you have that foundation or that makeup that's meant for Black skin, that's meant for me? So that's how people attribute Fenty automatically. So you can really see that not only has the brand made a connection with these women who are often disregarded, but on top of that, behind that connection, behind that star power, there's actually evidence that they are making shades that account for undertone, even the nuances in undertone within an undertone. There's levels to Rihanna, and I'm here for it. In terms of my identity, I am a Black woman, I am Muslim, and I'm visibly so, in the sense that I do wear a headscarf and I am pretty chocolate. So that's being a visible minority in that sense. It's kind of a role I actually really, really like. For example, in my work, when there are Black women who see me, they already identify with me, and there's that bond created because we've been through those same experiences where we've been marginalized, right? And then in the same sense, sometimes with my hijab, which that's a form of expression for me because it is my identity, and not only that, it reaffirms my identity. So I like to wear it in different styles depending on my mood or how I feel to make myself feel more like me. But that's not always translated when you look in the media, in social media, for example. A lot of these hijabi fashion blogs have predominantly brown populations, or just brown people who are doing it. So I being aware of that just helps me not only conscious of always just being aware of how I am in certain spaces, but it also makes me more conscious of my decisions when I am shopping. So for example, like I'll try my best if I'm trying to find a new hijab to wear, kind of looking to my fellow Black sisters and seeing the fashion and the trends that they're doing and supporting their businesses, because they are making it as already a group that doesn't have as many opportunities, and they're making it with me in mind. So I always try my best to support kind of like small like Instagram boutiques and all that kind of stuff. And in the same way with makeup, kind of looking at brands like Black owned brands such as Juvia's Place, I think, that have beautiful palettes. They're designed like, even like I think in one of the palettes like they have like Nefertiti, so that's like already like we're being upheld and we're being seen as beautiful in those spaces. So navigating my experience in the beauty world and being present in it is something that has definitely, hands down, all of my intersecting identities play a part in, and I'm always aware of that. I love that question because it kind of touches on the fact that a lot of the times with beauty and being a Black woman engaging in beauty, you kind of have to deal with the political effects of it and the fact that we're looking at a bigger structure that kind of allows certain discriminatory practices to be perpetuated. So we're dealing with a big thing with it. So how I try to navigate beauty spaces, being aware of that, is first of all like trying to support my fellow women who are starting up businesses, whether that be purchasing their hair, lashes online, specific niche brands that are made for women of color with women of color in mind. I feel like being conscious about that has really helped me navigate a space where I'm actually contributing something positive rather than feeling like every time I'm in a beauty space I feel attacked. The other way that I do it is, first of all, I'm a student and I'm broke, so I try to have to balance between finding cheaper alternatives that work with me. So one thing that's helped is going to the beauty supply store, is like the hub for Black women. Even if I do try to find a cheaper alternative, like say for example going to Walmart and buying a Maybelline foundation, I'll have to kind of mix shades or even like use a foundation for the lighter areas of my face, because I know the minute it goes in the outer areas it's gonna look gray. So I'm always having to accommodate in some ways when I do go to a cheaper place. So you could see where like financially it's not always the easiest being a Black woman in beauty, but we do it to look cute.